Wildwood Cottage. Welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a good week. It's the weekend and the sun's out. I can't believe it. We've actually got some dry weather. So I thought I'd come out and go for a walk. I just thought I'd show you something exciting before I do. So do you want to see something really exciting? I can't believe it already. It's only the 4th of January. I think it's the 4th. But do you want to see what I've got? I've got camellia flowers already. 4th of January. Can you believe it? And it looks like it's going to burst into flower because I've got another bud there. And another bud there. It's covered in flowers, flower buds. But I got a flower already. Very nice. Very nice it is too. It's coming out more pink on the camera, but it is actually bright red. Right. This bush here, which I call the butterfly bush, look, it's got flowers on it already. It is the 4th of January. But look at that. Flowers. Can't believe it. Welcome back to my kitchen. And today we're doing another recipe. And as you can see, I have a flan case. I got this lovely fluted tin in the charity shop in my local town. And I think I paid £1 for it, or £1.50. Beautiful tin. Sadly, it's not one of those bottoms that come out. So that's why I put the greaseproof paper in. Now, this pastry here was an accident. And I did want to make pastry. I did want to make a flan, but a quiche. But I didn't intend on making the pastry when I did. It was by accident. I tried to make my Christmas pudding. The mixture went to pastry mix. And I thought, rather than throw it away, I'll put it in the fridge. Put it in the fridge, left it there overnight, went back to it the next day, solid as a brick. It been like it'd been in the freezer. So I had to leave it out all day, let it defrost, and I've managed to make this beautiful pastry case with it. I'm really pleased with it. It's gone to a really nice flaky short crust pastry. And it is sweetened because I did put a bit of sugar in it, the mixture, thinking I was making a Christmas pudding. But you know, I don't think that'll matter. It's Christmas. Who's going to mind? A sugared flan case and all a beautiful mixture that's going to go in it. So that's the flan case. Right, for my ingredients, I'm going to use some mixed herbs, some pepper, some garlic granules. You don't want to use a lot of your herbs and your pepper because you don't want to overpower the fish. I'm using salmon. I've got this one, Scottish smoked salmon from Tesco's, but there doesn't seem a lot in the packet. So just in case, I've got this one, and it's champagne and orange salmon. I got this in Lidl yesterday, and I think it was about £2.75, I think. So I got 2. And I also got £5 off my shopping as well yesterday when I went to Lidl. So I've got those. I might use this one, the champagne and orange, and top it up with this one, and the rest of this can always go back in the freezer. I've also got this Greek style salad cheese, which is similar to a feta cheese. I bought that in Morrison's and I think it was 79p. So I'm not going to use all of that. I'm only going to use some of it, and then the rest of it I'll vacuum seal and put away. And then when I want some salad at some point, I can always open the packet and then reseal it when it's done. So that's that. The other thing I've got is some frozen broccoli that I've taken out of the freezer. That needs using today. Yeah, it's just about ready to be used. So that's going to go in the quiche as well. And my eggs. I'm using my glassed eggs, the ones that I preserve in lime. They are a little bit more watery, but do you know, you need to add milk anyway. So I just won't add as much milk and use my own eggs. So that's all the ingredients. So I'm just going to get myself my mixing bowl, mix up my eggs, and then show you putting it together. I've got my broccoli. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just literally going to take my pieces of broccoli and pop them in the case. Shall I turn you down? And then you can see what I'm doing. I don't like frozen broccoli. I don't think it's anywhere near as nice. But this is all I've got. So this is what we're using. I don't think it stays fresh as long. But then stuff from the supermarket doesn't stay fresh that long these days either. But I'm not using a lot of it. Just enough to cover the bottom of the dish. See, as you can see, there's not a lot. We're going to focus more on the eggs. Right, so I'm going to focus on this one, I think. The other one can go in the freezer for something. Just like the sound of champagne and orange in my quiche. I like this in the summer because I can have it served with a salad. Now we're doing our cheese. Now I know it looks like it's all going to sink to the bottom, but it won't, because once the mixture goes in, it'll lift. And once it starts cooking and expanding like an omelette, it'll also fill out nicely. So all we're going to do with our cheese is slice it in cubes. I'm just going to empty the water out. Right, it's actually quite a nice block of cheese for 79p. And it's quite crumbly, so that's what I'm going to do. For this, crumble it in. A little bit more. I've put about half the block in, I think, roughly. So as you can see, it's got quite a lot of mixture in there. I got these in my local health food shop. They weren't expensive. They just had a bit of a peppery flavour. I'll throw a few of them in. £1.95 in my health food shop. And I've also got, in fact I think I'll add that in as well, some of this, which I guess in little, and they're about £1.29, and it's pepper. And I think I'm going to add a couple of these. These are sweet peppers, so I think a couple of them sliced, thin slices. You don't want to overpower it and spoil the salmon, that's the thing. But little, they're about £1.29. Well, they were when I bought these. I always like to have them in storage. Right, I think that will do. I'm not going to put anything else in there now. We've got some capers, we've got some sweet peppers. Now they keep in the fridge once the jar's been opened, probably for about a month. But if you rebottle them into a kiln jar, you can keep them as long as you want, which is what I might do with them. They do have a tendency to go over quick in the heat. Right, get that out of the way. So we're going to add our seasonings into our eggs. So I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to sniff them first. One. So I might rinse them under the tap. Just bear with me a sec, just to get the lime off the shells. Now I'm going to put 7 or 8 in this. Seems a lot, but it's a big case. It's about 12 inches, the case. 3. Now I started bottling these back in August. Usually tell if they've gone over because they stick inside the shell. I wouldn't normally put this many eggs in, but it is a big case. And I've got about 4 jars that size, and they're still laying, so it's a good way of using them up. Right, whisk. So I've got 10 eggs in there. Right, I'm going to add my seasonings into this. Pepper. Some mixed herbs. Probably about a teaspoon, because I don't want to overpower the fish. And some garlic. Now I love these garlic granules, they're great. Probably about a teaspoon of that. As I say, you don't want to add too much flavour because you want the salmon. Because you've got flavoured salmon, you've got the champagne and orange and the ordinary smoked. You want that to bring out the flavour. You don't really want to put too much seasoning in and then find you haven't got enough flavour in. Trying to eyeball it as to how much I'm going to need. Probably about 125 ml of milk. Right, I'm just going to pour that in and see how we get on. Because it will rise as it cooks. Here we are. Now, as you can see, it's loosened up at the bottom, started to rise. Might add just a little bit of water, milk, put on the side here. Now, I wouldn't usually use milk, dairy milk. I'd usually use almond milk, but I need to use the milk up, so. Right. So that's filled that up. It's very difficult to add once you've already put it in the case, but there we are. Everything's rising nicely. Now, I'm not going to cook that straight away. I've got to put the oven on. So once I put it in the oven, it'll be in there for about an hour. I'll show you that when I put it in. And then once it's cooked, totally cooked on the top, I'll take it out, leave it to cool, and then put it in the freezer. So I'll be back when I put it in the oven. Be back in a bit. We're going to go and have a look down here. And this is my veg garden. I don't know if any of you watching today saw me putting this up, but this was the monstrosity polytunnel. It took me over a month to build, but I'm glad it's up. It is, I think it's 15 foot. I'll look up the meterage for you. I think it's 5 metres by 4 metres. I think that's how big it is. Took me a month to build. Bought it from Premier Polytunnels. And this is land that the farmer's letting me use and the landlord's letting me use because it was just waste ground. So it's not actually part of the house. It is added land that the farmer said I can use and the landlord. And it's going to be a great growing space because along here, come down the steps, had to put some bark down to try and keep the weeds down because the brambles were growing. But this is going to be for fruit all the way along here. I'm going to try and hack some of that soil down and make it the same level as the steps to make it easier for using. Mr. Stoat lives behind that bucket in the wall there, and it looks like he's still going in and out of there looking at all the soil that's there, so he's still around. He hasn't gone. Oh, just dropped my microphone. Yeah, he's still around. He hasn't gone. Looking at the soil there, he's still quite happy in my garden. There must be lots of mice around here because I've been fighting a running battle with him ever since I moved in. But yeah, you can tell because of the soil. You see how nice and loose that soil is there. So he's very happy still in my garden by the looks of it. Yeah, so all this along here, along this wall, is going to be fruit. I'm clearing off all this ivy and I'm going to grow the fruit along the wall. I'm probably going to have a battle with the mice and everything else. But yeah, that's how it's going to work here. And then along here, this is the waste ground that I didn't get around to doing because the polytunnel took me that long. I started it at the beginning of May, I finished it the middle of June, then the rain came in July, and that was the end of that. So yeah, this is what I've got to clear. All this patch was like this when I first took it over, so this is what's left to clear. So all the way down to the fence there, where that trellis is going to be fruit. And then I'm hoping as well, along the fence line as well, to do fruit along there. But that little robin there, he follows me around the garden. So this patch here is going to be, there's going to be a path, and then just here is going to be a raised bed. And I think it's just going to be one raised bed, but I'm not sure, we'll have to see. But there is going to be a path along here, so I can get to the fruit, to harvest the fruit, to prune the bushes, and yeah, I think that's going to work really well, as long as the wildlife leaves my fruit alone, which, as you know if you've been here a while, is a constant running battle. So that's this patch here. I did try growing things here, but the wind was that strong, it kept blowing everything down. But I'm going to put it back up. There is a jasmine on here flapping about in the wind. So yeah, I'm going to leave it. But yeah, I'm going to try growing beans and peas along here in the summer and see what we can grow. So I'm not going to grow anything along the side here because I don't want anything to pierce my plastic. And as you can see on the top, there's lots of algae that needs washing off because we get a lot of rain. I was surprised how quickly it went yellow. So I need to get the vinegar out. Right, if we go back along here, This is the polytunnel. The chickens are in here. Hi girlies. Here we are. Here's the chickens. They've been very happy, scratching around. Say hello, girls. This one's Grace. She's always first to say hello. Daisy's been having a dust bath. She's very dirty. She said she had fun as well. This black one's Pippa. She's always being bossy, always being grumpy. She doesn't change much, do you, Pippa? And then that little one at the back, looking rather oven ready. Just there. That's Gertie. She's lost all her feathers. She's looking like she's an oven ready chicken. But she's happy in herself, aren't you, Gertie? Eh? She's a lot better than she was. She just hides everywhere, don't you, Gertie? But Daisy said she's had fun having a dust bath. She doesn't care she's dirty. Do you, Daisy? Eh? Can you see the state of her? She's absolutely rotten. Absolutely rotten, isn't she, Pippa? They just want to know if I've got treats. Hi, Grace. This is my gentle Grace. She doesn't say much, but she always comes to say hello, don't you, Grace? Oh, did you see all that muck? She's had fun. Right, so this was a complete disaster. I did really well growing cucumbers. They grew fantastically. Couldn't get in to harvest them. The tomatoes were far too tall. They got blight. Well, as soon as the tomatoes started fruiting, they got blight. And I didn't get hardly any tomatoes. I put some in the freezer, but they were a disaster. The tomatoes didn't grow on this side because there's not enough soil. So my plan in here is I've got loads of fence posts that I found in the field off the farmer. So I'm going to build a raised bed along there. So all this is going to be a raised bed down to that cabinet there, which has got all my seeds and gardening tools and things in. And then the same on this side. And I've got another bench that's on wheels that I'm going to bring in here and use in here for putting seeds on. Now what I'm thinking is attaching to the posts at the back, I'm going to put some L brackets. You know those brackets you use for building? They're silver, they're L shape. Attaching some of them to the posts and just have one bench all the way along for putting my seeds on, because I think that would be really useful. And then when the tomatoes and that are planted, I can take the bench off, and yeah, that'll be very useful. I'm not sure how else to do it. The only other thing I could do is use brackets around the back and just make one big long bench. So that's my thinking for that. I was hanging my washing in here. It was very useful. There's my David Austin roses, and they're starting to get leaves on them, so I'm a happy lady. Right, so that's the polytunnel. It's just a whistle-stop tour today. Out the way, please, girls. Let me out. Should be quiet, Daisy. Okay, so the stuffing balls are finished, and I'm going to put my quiche in. So what I'm doing is putting this lid in, like that. And I'm going to set the quiche on the top of that lid so it doesn't scorch at the bottom as it's cooking. I just want it to cook on the top. So that can go in there like that. And then I'm going to push it right to the back. And then what that means is I can also get my pie in there once my pastry is ready. And maybe my batches of mince pies as well as that cooks, because that's going to take an hour. And I want to make the most of the oven. Stuffing balls look nice, don't they? Right, so that's them looked in. So I've got 2 plastic tubs here that I'm hoping to put beans and peas and things in and grow in there. Oh, you've gone all dark. I've got 2 Belfast sinks here, which I'm hoping to grow things in there. Last year I did have my, what were they called? Cape gooseberry. And I'm hoping those plants are going to come back because I've thrown them in the polytunnel. So I'm hoping they're going to come back. They are perennial. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for that. And then this is going down the other side of the polytunnel. And I have got, but I'm not sure if they got by the frost, some passion fruit. These here. And they had lovely flowers on them last year. They look like they're okay. Got a rose there, which is a pilgrim. No, it's not. what's it called? Rambling Rector, that's the name. Got some plants along here, but I do need to get in and get everything tidy because I just haven't been able to get in the garden. This last year had squash in it and courgettes. Didn't do very well, but I think that was largely the weather. I did get a couple of pumpkins off it. So I need to do and decide what I'm going to do here really. I don't know whether to use it as a salad bed because it's nice and easy to get in to harvest. I could use it for radish and lettuce and things like that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to have a think about that together and see what we're going to do with the side. There is some bits of spinach out here. But yeah, I did try cucumbers, but they didn't do very well at all. So I'm just hoping that the passion fruit come back. And I did put a clematis, which as you can see, let me see, there is some nice new shoots coming through down there. This is a dwarf mulberry. I've got 2 of those. I've got a kiwi jenny to go in. But as you can see, there's a lot of work to do here. Lots of brambles to get out. These don't seem to be coming back. I was hoping this would come back. It was a privet. I'm going to leave it because it's got a bit of green left in it, so it might come back. We'll see. And I was hoping this would come back, but this just doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's one of those box hedge privet things. But it's the wrong time of year to make decisions, isn't it? So it came out from over there, where that bin is. Kind of filled. You see how wide it is. It's huge. It's about 2 metres wide. So where the polytunnel is roughly where the hedge was. That's how much space it took up. So apparently there used to be big conifer trees here, which are like those big trees up there. So yeah, I'm glad they got rid of them from around the house. So that's along here. As you can see, there's a lot of work to do. But yeah, so let's go off and have a look at the rest of the veg garden. So as you can see, I've got a greenhouse. The greenhouse last year had tomatoes in it, but because it was so wet, I wasn't able to get out to do anything with them. But what I have found in there, just, where are we? There is a Russian kale. So I'm very happy about that because I've had that for about 10 years and it should keep seeding itself, spreading itself around, and yeah, that's very good. So the greenhouse is going to get put into use, and we'll see how we get on with that. This behind me here, this part of the garden here, from this post here, all the way down to just in front of the polytunnel, is going to be where I do my wartime garden. I don't know whether you remember the other day. I'll find it. Where are we? Where did I put it? Can't find it now. I showed you my leaflets for growing under cloches. Well, I think this space here is going to be ideal for doing that. So I'm going to try doing the wartime garden layout, and I'm going to do that here. I do have a running battle with the mice. As you can see, there's loads of strawberry plants absolutely everywhere. So I need to come out with my spade and dig all them up. But there's rhubarb all along the hedge there. And yeah, I just think this will be a great space because it's probably about 2 metres that way and then about 5-6 metres that way. So it's a great space. So that's going to be where my wartime garden goes. Just a sec. I thought I might have had the leaflet in my book of God, but yeah, that's what this is going to be. So I need to start planning that. I need to weed it. I need to get it all cleared. I might get the chickens in here and get them to try and do some weeding for me. Those sticks over there just in front of the polytunnel here, they're Jerusalem artichokes. Now they're just going to stay where they are. I don't move them around because wherever you put them, they self-seed themselves, so they can stay where they are. Along the fence line there is some fruit, but it needs moving because the birds eat it first before I get it. So along here I do have honeyberries, which are quite rare, and I've got about 6 of those, so they're going to come out and they're going to get moved to where I can harvest the berries and I can sort them out. Lots of new growth coming on everything now. As I say, it's only the 4th of January. Anyway, this is a Gordon's rosemary, so that needs tidying up and rescuing from the bramble. In this basket here, I've got 30 asparagus plants, so they need a permanent spot. So that's where we're going to go next. And we're going to go and see where they're going. So we're just going to walk up here. This was my fruit cage. Didn't work at all. The birds still got in. They had more fruit than I did. And I need to decide what I'm going to do with it this year, because I'm wondering if it's worth just trying to put bird scarers up, tie silver tape around the bushes and see if that works, because this is neither use nor ornament really, because the birds can get in underneath it. They just tunnel their way in. So I don't know. I'm going to have a think about it. I'm not going to do anything now. I'm going to think about it first. But the bushes grow through it, gets torn in the wind, and we get birds stuck in it. So yeah, I think I'm going to take it down. That's my thinking at the moment. But I'm not going to do anything just now. I'm going to think about it and see what I want to do. But it's full of red currants, black currants and white currants. So yeah, that's my thinking with that. And then if we come up here, excuse the mess. As I say, I've not been out here for months because of the weather. This is going to be the other veg garden, the other part of the garden. I've started doing a bed. This was an old bath. There's going to be a chicken tunnel along there. To any of you who've been here before, you've heard me talk about it before. But this is where I'm thinking of putting my dwarf trees that I've just bought. I've got that medlar coming, I've got the quince. And this is a great spot because it does get the sun in the afternoon. It comes from that direction, that's east. So it comes up all the way over there and all the way there. And then it disappears behind the tree for a couple of hours. And then it comes back through there. So it's got the sun here in this spot, probably till about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, from first thing in the morning. So yeah, my thinking is to put those trees here. And then I can harvest from either side. I've got a fence to go back up that was here originally. I'm moving that back here. And all this wood here is going to be made into a picket fence up on the rose walk. So that's going to be nice. But yeah, I'm going to do a U-shaped bed system along here. A long bed there, then a bed there, and then a long bed there. And I'm thinking of making that into a seating area where I can sit with the hens. They can go in their tunnel and I can sit and enjoy them. There is a greenhouse frame there. Not sure what to do with that. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, I can put some trees along here now. Haven't decided what yet. But make it a bit more private. Not that it's busy anyway. I live in the middle of nowhere. But we do get people coming past here. So that's my thinking so far. That's what I'm thinking. But another compost bin there, which is going to be useful. But all this needs clearing to make way for all my wood. So yeah, I'm going to have quite a bit of growing space. Because that is a 6-foot bed. And then along there, round there, and along there. Which is also where the chickens can go. Right. Right, so my quiche is done. It finished cooking nicely. And now it's in the freezer. It has gone solid. It does need something putting over it, but it's turned out really well. I'm really pleased with it. The pastry's turned out nice. But I'm just going to leave it in the case because I'm not going to use the case again. And I don't want it getting damaged. So I'm just trying to find room in the freezer. And then I'll put it away. So okay, so that's a whistle-stop tour around my vegetable garden. There's a lot more to my garden than just that. That's probably about a third of my garden. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you what I'm planning for this, my dig for victory. I need to get out. I need to get some work done. But yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get stuck in now the next 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks is forecast to be dry and sunny but cold. So that's going to be a great time for me to get out and get my garden organised. I've got so many exciting plans. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be so nice to get it all done. And this is an exciting project. The Digging for Victory is an exciting project for a frugal garden. So yeah, I hope you're going to follow along with me. If you're interested in the other bits of starting a garden from scratch that I've done so far, do click on the I button at the top here, and I'll pop a link in the description bar below for those videos that I've already done, so you can see the progress of me doing the patch where the polytunnel is, and I videoed the whole process of doing the polytunnel and sorting out the space where the polytunnel was going. So if you're interested in that, I did it all myself. apart from putting the plastic over, which my husband helped me with, thankfully. But other than that, the whole lot I did myself. So if you're interested, do click on the I button at the top and you'll be able to take into those videos where you can have a look. So thank you for watching today. Do like and subscribe. Do hit that notification bell. That'll tell you when I upload new videos. And do join me and come along for the ride and all the fun and shenanigans that are going to go on doing a Dig for Victory garden and living on war rations. So hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a good week. And I will see you soon. So take care. Bye for now.